Hiya, just going before I start doing any work, I'm going to change my, sorry, my messy room, black over to white on my overlocker. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so this is the Brother 1034D edition. I like this overlocker just because it's so easy to use and yeah, it's reliable, and I find this rethreading system quite manageable. A lot of people say overlockers are quite difficult to thread. I think I was very lucky to get this machine because I've never really found it an issue. Okay, so I'm just twisting out the black thread. You don't want to pull too hard on this because there's underneath your foot, try and zoom in a bit so you can see it, these prongs here are where your sidey threads go, and if you bend them it can make your stitch not work and go all funny and horrible and make it really hard work to sew with. So I've got a normal paintbrush. I just use this for dusting and getting out bits of thread. It's good to have a bit of a clean. For some reason I get bits of slivers of fabric fall down here and it all goes underneath and makes it really messy. So every time I change the threads I like to make sure it's definitely nice and clean, and then also in between every so numbers of projects as well, just because I'm just picking out the little bits, the little slithers. So it's quite nice. Get rid of all that. Okay, so on my machine, on this Brother, I'll get a pen actually and number it as we go so you can see. I've done it before, previously to show somebody, but the numbers have come off. So you rethread them in this order. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. That's what the manual says. It works. Don't change it. But it does. It works better if you do it in exactly the right order. But this machine's pretty good because it's got all these directions on it. So I just had to buy a new one, so I'll put this one in number 1 because that thread actually uses the most and it disappears the quickest. So it's best to keep that one stocked up. Okay, so you put it through the top bar. I'll chop the end of that one off because it's a bit wispy. Okay, click it through the feeder and down. And as it says on the instructions here, it goes down to point number 5. You thread it through just the one that's got a green and a blue dot. You're following the green line, so you just put it through the green dotted one. Then it goes up through this top hook. And then this is the trickier bit. I always take my foot off because it makes this bit of the job a bit easier. It does come with tweezers, but I find a pair of these really useful. So move in position so your bar, which slides this thread over and across, is upright, and thread your thread through the little hole and then push it to the back so it's lying nice and flat. There's that one threaded. Right, next biggest one because these two use the most. Same again, up through the top bar, through the feeder. Now this one is the blue line, so it goes through the blue 0.5, and both of these little bits at the bottom have got a blue dot on, so it goes through both. Then it goes through, that one's looped, sorry, the top one is looped round over it. The first thread, there we go. That one's out of the way now. See how easily it is to mess it up. Okay, so this one goes underneath those two in the number 8 hook. Now, you need to expose this little blue square with a double-sided arrow on it. Pull that out. That gives you a small blue arrow, and up above that is a little hooky bit. It's like a little silver hook. So your thread gets hooked onto there. Hold it nice and taut, and then slide that slider back in, and it will click into position. This then, above the white slider, is like a double pointed piece, and the top bit has a hole in it, and that is where this thread goes. So you pop it through there. Now I'm going to go a little bit closer so you can see. This thread has to go up and underneath this top bar. If it goes in front of it, it will disrupt this thread moving, so it has to go underneath. And this is part of the reason why I remove the foot, because what I do is I pinch it and just slide it over like that. Obviously don't let it get tangled up. I would normally be using 2 hands. Anyway, and there it is, nice and tight. So that's those 2 threads done. It's all clicked under there properly, look. See how easy it is for it to slide out. That all done. So now I'm just going to do the 2 needle threads, position 3 and 4. So obviously move your bits that way. So what I do now, when I've got these bits, I'll turn the light on so I can see this one a bit better. Oh, just pop back out again. Look. I'm not playing ball now, I'm videoing. Anyway, it's snow alert day today in Cornwall. Very much doubt we'll get any, but you know, the boys are praying for it. And I've just pulled it out again. Might want to fast forward this bit, eh? Get there in the end. Thinnest needles ever. There it goes. So slide that one back so it joins the others. Underneath there. Right, last one. Follow the lines. Don't let the other one pull out of place whilst you do this one. Give it a good long tail as you pulled it through, so you can't pull it back out. There we go. Right, so now all 4 threads are in the right position and threaded. So what I do now is I hold all 4. I'll turn the light off so you can see. We better hold all 4 threads, and without even putting the foot back on, then hold them to the side, and I turn the wheel to make sure, as I'm looking down on it, they're all doing what they're meant to be doing. You'll see right now if there's a problem with how you threaded it, because it just won't work. And it's working lovely. And I'll show you that up close so you can see. See how it's threaded round? And those are the little bars I talked about earlier that if you pull on it, which I have done in temper when I got a bit frustrated with something, they can bend, and then you have to replace that whole plate in order to get it to work again. But that's basically how I rethread my overlocker. No problemo. Love it. Okay. So put your foot back on. And you're ready to go. Yay! On to the project.